You have no idea how many chances I've given him. You have no idea. I begged him. Do you think I wanted to send this man to jail?
A judge, the most powerful person in that courtroom, is pleading, not commanding, not threatening. Pleading. That alone tells you everything about how extraordinary this moment is. Because when a judge starts explaining himself, when he feels the need to justify his own patience to a room full of strangers, you know this case has broken through something professional and touched something deeply human. This isn't a cold legal proceeding. This is a man in a black robe who has watched another man slowly unravel over years and still chosen mercy again and again, almost against his own better judgment. The weight of that repetition is visible on his face, audible in his voice. So who is Robert Thomas Boyd? And what on earth has he done or not done that brought him to this moment standing in a courtroom one step away from 80 days behind bars?
I think you should know. You know me better than that. People against Robert Thomas Boyd, 25B 82557. Morning, Mr. Boyd. How are you?
Morning, sir. How are you?
Good.
Good, too.
Your name? Your name?
Robert Thomas Boyd.
All right. Everybody's name over here.
Dr. Some behalf of Brown Seven Membership.
People fully power on behalf of Township. You did elect to speak to an attorney this morning, so Ms. Patillo is representing you.
Okay, I was going to tell you have the right to a lawyer. So Ms. Patillo will be representing you. Is that what we're going to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, so I just sent her in to take care of one with the county. So it's going to be a little bit, okay, Mr. Boyd?
Coming now.
Okay.
Notice something subtle but significant. Robert Boyd walked into this courtroom without a lawyer. He was going to face a judge, a township prosecutor, and a code enforcement officer completely alone. Whether that was pride, denial, or simply not knowing any better, it nearly cost him everything before the hearing even began. But the system, surprisingly, paused for him. A public defender named Ms. Paccio was called in last minute, and suddenly this man who showed up unprepared had someone in his corner. In courtrooms like this, municipal, unglamorous, built for speed, that kind of pause is rare. It signals that even the court sensed something fragile about this defendant. The real question hanging in the air wasn't legal procedure. It was something far more uncomfortable. Is this a man who refuses to comply, or a man who simply doesn't know how?
Judge, I have some updated photos.
Yeah, I got a packet. Is this the ones you're talking about?
It's oh,
Why don't you just tan those up if you would?
go for taking yes.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Patillo. Your name?
Yeah, it's still 82378 on behalf of Mr. Boyd.
So I hope Mr. Boyd and you had a chance to talk at length, because if you need more time, I will. This has been in an ongoing blight condition that's been in existence here for 25 years, and I've sent him to jail once, I believe, maybe twice,
What?
because he's just not following directions. Now, I told him on the last time he was in court, which was on March the 25th, I said he was to serve 90 days, credit 10. And that jail start date is to occur today. So technically he's supposed to go to jail today for 80 days. You have no idea the history behind this. I've done everything I can. So, what would you like to tell me?
25 years. Let that never breathe for a moment. This code violation, whenever sits rotting on Robert Boyd's property, has been a legal issue for a quarter of a century. Administrations changed, neighbors moved in and out, and still this unresolved mess persisted like a stubborn wound that never quite healed. The judge has already sent Boyd to jail, possibly twice. And still, the man returned to the same courtroom, the same charges, the same exhausted judge repeating the same warnings. At some point, this stops being a story about a messy yard and becomes something else entirely. A story about a man trapped in a cycle he either can't or won't break free from. Today was supposed to be the end of the line. 80 days in jail. The sentence was already signed, sealed, and scheduled. The only thing standing between Robert Boyd and a jail cell was whatever his brand new attorney was about to say in the next few minutes.
So, Your Honor, it's my understanding that Mr. Boyd, chose to represent himself through this matter. I don't think that was a very good idea. But I will say this, it doesn't sound like he ever had a viable plan in place to get this stuff removed. It sounds like he just tried to maybe do it by himself. He did get some offers from other agencies to help. I called.
Which he declined.
I'm sorry?
Which he declined.
Right. Well, while we were speaking, I called Veterans Junk Removal Service and I spoke to Eric. Their pricing is $150 to $1,000. We set an appointment for Eric to come out tomorrow morning between 9 and 10 o'clock to assess the situation and to give him a quote. They can also haul stuff away in trucks, and it's a veteran service. So he's not a veteran. Mr. Boyd is not a veteran, but the individuals who work for the company are veterans, so they work off of donations. So I'm assuming the cost wouldn't be very high. So Mr. Boyd was on board. We set the appointment. They're coming out in the morning. I understand that this case has been going on since April 2025, and then obviously years before that. But even with the 80 days in jail, the neighbors are going to have to sit there and look at this stuff. So,
Well, they could reissue another citation.
right. So
And I've been trying to explain that to Mr. Boyd for the longest time.
Yeah, but I don't think he really had a plan. He does have somebody at church that's gonna come out every Sunday and Wednesday. So I think if he can get the bulk of that stuff removed by this Veterans Junk Removal Service, that may make it less work for the people from church, to remove stuff. I would ask if the court would at least let him get through this appointment, maybe give him a week or two, come back and see if anything's been done. Because Eric, I don't think it would take them that long. Once it's assessed, he gets a quote, they can start moving.
In the span of a hallway conversation before court, this attorney, who had known Robert Boyd for maybe 20 minutes, did something that years of court orders had failed to do. She picked up the phone. She called the junk removal service. She booked an appointment. She built a plan. And in doing so, she quietly exposed the core of this entire tragedy. Boyd never had a roadmap. He had intentions without infrastructure, willingness without execution. The attorney also made a point that cut right through the room's frustration. Sending this man to jail for 80 days solves nothing for the neighbors. The junk stays. The vehicles stay. The yard stays frozen in whatever chaotic state it's been in for decades. Jail punishes Boyd but doesn't fix the problem. It's a truth that made the judge pause even if he didn't want to admit it. Then came the detail that reframed everything. Church volunteers, a veterans crew working off donations, a man quietly reaching out to his community for help. This wasn't a defiant man. This was a struggling man. And those are two very different things to a judge deciding someone's fate.
I know. Does he have the money to do that?
He does.
Been spending the money I saved for my burial. Spending that. So,
So it's not that he wouldn't have the money, it's just that the money source that he has, I don't think he would necessarily use that. But at this point, 80 days in jail is. So I know that I'm just on this case, I know there's probably been several chances given. I would just ask one last.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You have no idea how many chances I've given him. You have no idea. I begged him. Do you think I wanted to send this man to jail? I think you should know. You know me better than that.
We'll get one last chance.
He said it quietly, almost to himself. The money I saved for my burial. Robert Boyd is willing to spend his own funeral savings to clean up his yard. That single line transforms this entire case. This isn't a wealthy man dodging responsibility. This is an elderly man likely living close to the edge, rationing his last reserves, trying to hold his life together with burial money and church volunteers. And the judge heard it. You can tell by the way his tone shifts. Still firm, still exasperated, but cracked open just slightly by something that looks a lot like grief. He's not angry at Boyd, he's exhausted for him. There's a difference, and it matters. The attorney asked for one last chance. The judge fired back with the weight of every chance already given. But the room had changed. Something invisible had shifted. And the real verdict of this moment wasn't going to be found in legal code. It was going to come from one man deciding what he still believed about another.
What do you guys have to say?
Your Honor, I'll start with the good news. Mr. Boyd did obtain a demolition permit. The garage is torn down.
That is good news.
Hasn't gotten the inspection to ensure that it was done properly or safely, but I understand that he's gonna get that done. Unfortunately, the remainder of the order is not complete. So the trailer's full of junk, the boat, the inoperable vehicles, the piles of junk, debris, wood are still over the property.
I had on my wood stove back at the beginning of winter. In the middle of winter, I had over 10 face cords. The guy dumped it on the yard out of his truck. I've been using it, and I've been working on this stuff here to get it done. So the wood's still there, but it's just a pile of wood.
I see it.
And
Who,
I've got a young man that lives behind me who's going to stack it for me in my yard. Because I use wood to heat. And it's a half gone down already, so won't take long to get to what's left stacked.
okay, but you got all these vehicles here still too.
Well, he said that the vehicles are licensed and insured. I know the tire is flat.
Oh, well, yeah.
Here's where the story gets painfully real. The garage, gone. That's something. Boyd didn't just talk, he did something difficult and bureaucratic and physical. He got a permit. He tore it down. For a man working alone, likely without much help, that's not nothing. That's actually a lot. But the yard still looks like a salvage auction gone wrong. Boats, vehicles, wood piles, trailers stuffed with decades of accumulated life, and Boyd has an explanation for every single item. The wood? Someone dumped it on him midwinter. He heats with wood. It's half gone already. The vehicles? He drives junkers because he can't afford for one to break down on the way to work. Every piece of so-called junk has a story, a function, a reason for existing. This is the moment you realize what looks like hoarding to a code inspector looks like survival to Robert Boyd. And those two realities, both completely true, have been colliding in this courtroom for 25 years without either side fully hearing the other.
And the aqua is not parked on our approved surface. So they do need to be operable and parked on the approved surface.
Yeah, it's been flat since the time that we started this obstacle.
Well, it's been going down, so
Why are you paying, you're telling me you're paying insurance on all these, how many vehicles you have on there?
3.
You're paying insurance on all those vehicles that are just sitting there?
Yeah,
Why?
because I drive junkers, and if one breaks down, I have to get into another one to go to work. I work,
Well, I'm not suggesting you should operate a motor vehicle without insurance. Please don't take me wrong. But it just doesn't look like they've moved.
they move. I put air into one and it'll move.
Well, you can't,
I got a new
you can't just put air in a flat tire, sir. You have to get the tire fixed or buy a new tire,
Yeah.
right?
You put air back in them, they all leak.
Wow.
You know, they're not new cars, all the tires and anything I have leaks. Part of life.
They all leak. Part of life. In 4 words, Robert Boyd accidentally delivered the thesis statement of his entire existence. Everything leaks. Everything is one patch job away from falling apart. His cars, his yard, his legal standing, all of it held together with just enough air to keep moving until the next crisis demands attention. The judge's frustration in this exchange is almost comic. A flat tire is not a flat tire to Boyd. It's a tire you reinflate every morning because that's what you do when you can't afford a new one. These aren't the words of someone being defiant. These are the words of someone who has been improvising through poverty for so long that workarounds have become a worldview. But the courtroom doesn't run on worldviews. It runs on compliance deadlines and inspection reports. And the clock was ticking toward a decision that would send this man, flat tires, burial savings, wood piles and all, either home or behind bars.
Judge, I don't think he's ever had an actual removal service to come. I know he's probably had, different agencies, but these people have trucks to remove the stuff.
I just want to make sure. These are the pictures you gave me just now, right?
Yeah.
Because I've got other color pictures in here. I just want to double check. Are you sure those are the pictures? And if they are, would you just write on the back the date that those were taken, or somewhere in a corner, somewhere on?
Yeah, these, the pictures I took yesterday.
And so that was May the 5th. Would you just write that on the back of those, or what have you? Look, Mr. Boyd.
Oh, so.
Is that my phone? You got it.
All right. This is not a case I ever look forward to handling. You know that? I didn't. Oh,
That shuts it off. The head of shut off.
okay.
First time in the front.
I just want you to know, counsel, back on July the 30th, I set a review hearing date for September the 24th of 25 for him to have all these things done. Now here we are. It's in May. We're 8 months after that, 10 months after I placed him on probation. I'm glad to hear the garage is down there. Trying to be positive. Would somebody,
Let's start with the good news first.
would somebody humor me here? How much time are you asking?
This is not a case I ever looked forward to handling. The judge said it plainly without drama, and it landed heavier than any gavel strike could. Because in that sentence lives an entire emotional truth. This isn't justice feeling righteous. This is justice feeling tired. Tired of a system that keeps producing the same result with the same man in the same chair. He placed Boyd on probation 10 months ago. He set review dates. He gave timelines. He believed each time that this would be the turning point. And each time, the yard remained. The vehicle sat. The wood piled up. The trailer stayed full. A judge can hold power over a man's freedom, but he cannot hold power over a man's circumstances. So when he asked almost desperately, would somebody start with the good news first? The room understood something profound. Even the judge needed a reason to keep hoping. And hope in a municipal courtroom on a Tuesday morning is the most radical thing of all.
4.
2 weeks to 30 days.
Okay. Give me a date 4 weeks out, Heather.
4 weeks, we would have June 3rd, Judge.
That's in the morning. I'm off in the afternoon that day, right?
I don't have that marked. Did I miss something on that one? Let me double check.
Did I ever do one for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th? Oh, I screwed up.
Yeah, I
So-
don't have anything marked for that.
Well, I'm gonna be off the 3rd, 4th, and the afternoon of the 3rd. So we got to keep that
Okay,
White
so you're off in the PM
Uh,
on the 3rd. Okay.
correct. I'll get you those today. I thought I took care of it.
Okay.
We'll adjourn this to June 3rd at 8:30. So that's going to be a jail start date, though, of 80 days unless I suspend it. Okay?
Is that just a jail start, or do you want to do it as another review, or just a jail start day, Judge?
Jail start / review hearing date. And you'll be
Okay.
here that day, right, Ms.
I think I am here on the 3rd.
Good. That's when we'll do it.
June 3rd. Circle it. That's the day Robert Boyd's fate is decided. Not today, not with handcuffs and a holding cell, but with one more chapter of a story that has been unfolding for longer than some people in that room have been alive. The jail sentence isn't gone. It's suspended, hovering, waiting like a storm that hasn't broken yet. 80 days, unless something changes. And something has to change. Not because the judge demanded it, not because the township filed another citation, but because a veterans crew is showing up tomorrow morning between 9 and 10. Because a young man behind the fence agreed to stack the wood. Because church volunteers are coming on Sundays and Wednesdays. because an attorney who met this man 20 minutes ago made a phone call the ears of court orders couldn't. Sometimes systems fail people for decades, and then, in a single morning, the right combination of grace, pressure, and one determined public defender shifts everything. Robert Boyd walked out of that courtroom not a free man, but a man with a plan. And in that courtroom, on that day, that was everything.
Just speak clear, that includes everything.
Everything on that list. And I want you to give Ms. Patillo a copy of that. Mr. Boyd, don't go anywhere until you talk with your lawyer further, will you please?
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Wayne has a question.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. Do you have a question?
Yeah, good morning. Maybe your question?
Sure.
Are you right? How are you?
Doing all right. Good luck, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Mr. Quartz isn't going to be in a car, is he, Heather? Jesus.
Thanks for watching video, like and subscribe for more videos.